Let's talk about what's going on in downtown Chicago real estate. I'm Anne Rossley, coming to you with this month's Chicago housing market update. Let's look at single family homes in the downtown marketplace, and that means from the South Loop up to Rogers Park, including those immediately to the west, such as Westtown, Wicker Park, Bucktown, Logan Square, North Center, Roscoe Village. All right, September, 83 homes closed. 75 are under contract. You can see that 75 is less than the previous month, but certainly higher than 2023's September. 264 homes are currently on the market. That's an uptick from last month, but certainly the lowest September for many years. 3.3 months worth of homes are on the market right now. That means it'll take 3.3 months to sell out what's currently for sale, given the rate of sale. The median sales price for a single family home in the marketplace is $1,349,000, and you can see that that has gone up substantially in the last 5 years. The typical single family home that's on the market right now is getting 3.8 showings per month. And now let's look at attached. By attached, I mean condos, co-ops, and townhomes. 697 attached properties closed in the month of September. That is the lowest that we've seen in a while. However, it's generally been a good news story. There are 648 that are currently under contract. That is up from last year's September. Still a bit lower than the previous years, however. 2,486 attached properties are currently on the market. That's an uptick from last month. But certainly lower than any of the previous Septembers in the last 5 years. For condos, we only have 3 months worth of inventory on the market, and inventory has been the big topic. There is just not a lot available to purchase, and the market has been a little bit locked up. $439,250. That is the median sales price for a condo in this marketplace. And that, as you can see on the chart, is an all-time high. All right, let's take a look now, January through September this year versus 2023 and 2022. So far this year with attached sales, we are down 2.4% versus the previous year. That was down substantially versus 2022, which is one of what we call the unicorn years, the big sales years. Looking now at single family homes, the detached properties were actually up. 768 homes closed so far this year. Compare that to last year's 711. 711 through September last year was down 34% versus 2022. Inventory is the name of the game, folks. All right, that's looking more in the rearview mirror. Let's look forward a little bit based on how many people are out there looking at properties, thinking about buying. The index for the month of August, and this is a little bit lagging in terms of what's currently going on, but you'll see we had fewer buyers out there than we had in previous months. January 2014 was the arbitrary 100 to create this index. So we're at 132 versus January of 2014. But let's compare that versus previous months. We had only February and March of this year where the index was at 200 or above. The 132 index is a little bit smaller than the Midwest region, but it's outpacing buyer traffic across the United States. Mortgages. This is a good news story right now. We uptick a little bit this week. Freddie Mac has us at 6.32%, but generally speaking, we've been coming down over the last few weeks, and we're seeing it start to loosen up the inventory in the market. The other thing that's making a difference are rents. It is still very expensive to rent in Chicago. Rents are down versus previous month, but they're up versus last year. So if you look at 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, the average rent prices of $22.26, $28.48, and $37.47 are down in the last 30 days, but you can see that 1 bedrooms are up 5%, 3 bedrooms are up 4%. Let's look at it by neighborhood. The most expensive neighborhood is the Loop at $34.41. The near north side is at $33.10, and the bargain neighborhood is Uptown at $18.50. How does this compare to the nation? Well, Chicago is number 11 in terms of most expensive places to rent a property. Year over year, up 5.7%, according to Zumper, puts us at number 11 behind Washington, D.C. and San Diego, but ahead of Honolulu and New Haven, Connecticut. So that's it, folks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and look out for the next two reports that are coming up. The first one is going to be national factors impacting our real estate market and the forecast for 2025. And then the one after that will be what's happening locally in Chicago that is affecting values other than mortgage rates, prices, and inventory. I'm Anne Rossley with Baird & Warner. Let's connect.